know I hate posing. I hate it badly.
Still recording? Oh, we're going to talk about?
A couple of things, I do have a question and answer because I got some questions online, so I'm going to do that a little later. I did want to speak a bit about enlightenment on a cellular level, and I've been having a lot of downloads with that recently. And a bit like we live in a bubble. This whole matrix system is a sort of bubble, and it's interesting that almost like an onion. Think about the different frequencies, like an onion, the different layers, and you can, interestingly, us ascending this will be on a cellular level and us cleaning out our cells, because it seems that everything, whether it's chemtrails or whether it's bad food or whether it's chemicals in the products we use, is making us more dense and making those layers more dense around us on a cellular level, so that we are within a prison within ourselves, and also that makes us within a prison, and within this matrix system also within a prison. So by us flowing more and making ourselves less dense, and I think doing a lot of work on a cellular level, our souls can then go and ascend. It's very hard to explain like this. Maybe I should have brought an onion to explain it. But initially, from what I saw, our cells, us going within and us clearing ourselves, is really one of the keys to ascending all of this. And each cell is a bit like an onion. It's layered, and the more dense the cell is, because it's got chemicals, stuck in it, heavy metals, also even emotions make your cells more dense. Then you go ahead and you're locked more in your prison. And I think a lot of people walking around, they're not aware of it, but it's like their souls are somewhat locked in their body, many people, and their souls are in a literal prison within their body because of this. And then also there's a point when you get so intoxicated because of emotions, because of bad food and everything, that you are entrapped, but then entities can come in. And it's been a bit of a beautiful sort of thing, because I have been able to go within myself on a cellular level. And I had an experience some years back, and they're tying into the experiences that I have now. And I had done so much work on my body and so much work spiritually. And I remember I was sitting in the front of this car, and I was in France, and I kind of just laid back. It was really hot, actually, like right now. I kind of laid back, and I'm always guided when to stop in the day, when to rest or when to go into different states. And I laid back like this and sort of rested my head. It was like I went within my cells, within my body, and it was all like a beautiful symphony. And it was connected to everything. Was utterly connected. There was worlds and everything. I was like surfing within my own consciousness, and it was connected to everything. It was connected to the universe, and I understood that I was able to achieve that. And I cannot explain in words of how beautiful the experience I had with this was. It was something that you can't put in words, of course, but it showed me that doing a lot of work on yourself and on a cellular level, it opens you up. You're then freed of your body, because our bodies, and I think that's the whole thing with transhumanism too, partially, is to lock souls within bodies, so they cannot get out. You're locked in, rather than your soul being able to flow in the universe or to go out of your body. That's why so many people they don't dream, they don't, they're just like a robot. They don't feel energy, they don't feel anything, because the cellular level of themselves is so bogged down with everything that they become dense. It's almost like a rock, when you throw a rock into the water and it just sinks. So I've been having so much more visions and things about this, and I think to release all of that, we definitely need to work on our gut system, because that's where I believe one of the main keys is. I think all of the emotion, everything kind of gets stuck in this area right here, and that's why there's a couple of different ways I use to make sure that I'm detoxified of emotions or gunk, or even since I'm an empath, I pick up stuff around me, and empaths, they want to heal, so they tend to absorb the negative energy out of others so they can heal, and they're taking on the karma. We have the little bird, it's just right there. I have a thing with animals. They're not scared, they'll just come right on to me. It's very lovely. But to go back to the subject, all of the emotions do get stuck within this system, and there are a couple of ways that I take care of it to get rid of that. And one of them is H2, hydrogen peroxide therapy, which is getting more oxygen in the blood. And I definitely use coffee enemas, and I know it's a bit of a taboo subject because not many people are, it's not something sexy or something, people don't like talking about this stuff, but it works amazing because I do coffee, and then I do vinegar, and I do definitely H2O and wheatgrass, and it does wonders. And I usually, if I'm doing intense detox, because I know that emotions have come up from either past lives or from a child, because I did have a hard childhood, I will do that, and I'll just shine and have all this energy and shine.
Now going back to the H2O2.
H2O is
what percentage is it? It's 35% is outlawed in this country now.
Okay, so you don't want to use 35%, you'll kill yourself.
Okay, but if you put it in water, you say that put it
I would,
drops in water.
Okay, so you never want to shock your body, so 3%. Use the 3% food grade, and then just a couple of drops, because it's a bit like homeopathy, if that's how you say the word. You're doing it on a cellular level. Less is always more.
Okay.
The more people think that if you just take all of this stuff, you're gonna be like this. No, you're trying to go down to a cellular level, and there's things that will affect you on a cellular level rather than taking a million supplements that will change your life, and that you'll have the effects are incredible. And with that, I think that just if you dilute a little bit of 3%, it works very, very well. And the thing is that entities can't stay in the body when there's oxygen. They can't hold on to the body. Any parasites cannot hold on to the body when there's oxygen is in the blood. When there's a lot of oxygen, it burns off any of the entities holding on to your body, like the sun does in a different way. The sun, the light burns it off. The oxygen really, really, really does that. It works amazing, and you have to choose to take that path too. Because it's funny because I was reading the other day, and I was reading on this because I do it, and it works amazing. And I thought I'm going to read up on people's experiences because I read so much. And somebody was like, "Yes, I did it," and yeah, it definitely worked. But it made me have I started feeling really bad because I had a very bad parasitic infection. Well, I'm not going to do it anymore because I'd rather keep my parasitic infection than go through with healing, because it does. When you do this, it's going to bring up stuff. It's going to bring up old emotions. It's going to bring up stuff that to make you face it up, you know? It's going to bring up the stuff that's under the surface. And if you're choosing a spiritual path or you're choosing to heal, you're going to have to go through the process. And it's not an easy process, you know? It takes work, and it definitely takes sincerity in it, and it takes the will to want to do it. But once you do it, I mean, you're going to feel bad for a while when you start doing it a bit, because you're shocking all of the stuff that's been in your body, and it doesn't like that. So it's going to try to give you these sort of emotions of, don't do that. I don't want to be attacked. Parasites, it's funny because parasites seem to affect the mood so intensely, you know? And I was reading articles where people would say that had very terrible parasitic infections would crave different stuff, and it was actually what the parasites wanted to feed off. So it was actually connected to their system, you know? So it was making, but it to survive, it was pushing you to eat certain foods that would help it survive. So going through healing is definitely, it takes some guts, it takes some will, but it's worth it. And this really does clear out stuff. And I was asked by a lady not long ago. She said, well, you know, you can use herbs to do it. You can. I mean, it's going to take a while with herbs. I recommend that you still use your herbs and you still eat a good diet and you do this along. This will get rid of everything very very fast, and it also cleans the blood and purifies the blood and oxygenates the blood. And usually when I work on people or people who are sick or have issues, I can say that most of it always stems from the gut system. So all the parasites, when I look at people, sometimes when I look at people that even pass by me, I can see it. People look really drained, you know, or really sick or not well. They have massive amounts of like lynx or parasites right around here. So it's very important that we take care of that. That's why I recommend using hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide, by the way, therapy. Usually 3% diluted, and you can buy douche anywhere online. And I think it's a common thing in France. They're everywhere in France, so it's something common. And since I did grow up a good time in France, so my mother's French, you know, I was common seeing them when I went into people's bathrooms over there, and they're so healthy. They were hanging in there, you know, and families literally had them, so it was something common. In the United States, it's just, like I said, it's not
What
very...
is it? I don't even know what it is. What is it?
You know, you know, colonics have become a big thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's almost like at-home colonic.
Okay,
You can
yeah.
buy your own.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen it on Amazon.
Yes, and it works wonders, by the way. And the coffee enemas just clear your whole system out. You will be full of energy, and you will have great skin. And I mean, it must be doing something, because I went to see a skin therapist not long ago, and they looked at my skin, and I am 30, and they're like, your skin is amazing. You don't have skin of a 30-year-old. Like, they put me in this thing, and it was very good because I got to see how the stuff I'm doing is actually working. It's really working. So it'll have an effect on everything, and it gets rid of parasites. Not only that, for women it's great because it will get rid of cellulite and all sorts of stuff like that. There's so many health benefits to it that it's totally incredible. So I do recommend. That's one of the really good things for clearing out parasites. To rebalance your stomach chakra while you're doing this, I would recommend getting chakra stones. I have quite a collection. I should have brought them. And just some crystals, and then just pile the crystals and the chakra stones all along. Pile the chakra stones all around your stomach. And just put a couple of crystals. I put one right above my head so I can point the energy. And just stay laying there for like 15 minutes, and you will feel a rush of energy, and it'll also heal it'll heal your stomach chakra. And I believe that in this society, with all of the bad food and everything, that's one of the ones that really definitely takes a beating, is our stomach chakra. they did want to explain about that today.
Okay. Oh, you should say I'm here with Sarah Rachel Adams in Canterbury, and it's 4th of July.
Oh yes.
So, and it's about 4 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. So, that's good.
That's right. I didn't let you introduce me.
That's all right. I can cut it out. It's fun. It's amazing. But going back to the frequency of doing these things, so to help people on the H2O2, I mean, I've seen things you should work up to 3 drops to 25 drops and drop it down again.
You should. You should never definitely dose it up at first. It's just would be all bad. Like I said, it's about working with your body and feeling your body. First, I would recommend too, before you start the H2O, you would you start doing the vinegar, apple cider vinegar. It works because if you hit your stomach with the hydrogen peroxide and you haven't gradually got yourself there, it can be quite a shock to the body. So just a capful of apple cider vinegar, and then once you can, and that will really, really be life-changing. It'll change your mood and everything, energy levels and everything. And then I recommend doing, there's the Gerson. Have you heard of Gerson?
I have, yeah.
The Gerson therapy. So if you're really trying to detox, you can look up the Gerson therapy online, and it depends how bad you are intoxicated with chemicals and different stuff and heavy metals, because with the Gerson, they do it a couple of times a day. I healed myself a lot of lupus. I was diagnosed with lupus. At least that's what the doctors thought. I had all this stuff go wrong with me when I was younger, and it was because I had a bad childhood, and I did the therapy of doing it 3 times a day. It totally changed my life. But I read so much stuff, because after the doctors couldn't help me, I read up so much stuff online and just got informed and changed my diet and changed everything. And my diet consisted of fruits and vegetables, just massive amounts of fruits and vegetables, walnut oil, coconut oil, all sorts of different good oils. And then I do admit that I have salmon sometimes, and if I think I need iron, I will have a piece of, I will definitely have a piece of meat, because I think that sometimes if you need those vitamins, instead of taking these supplements that have been transformed, it's better to go get them from source. And I pray, because I think that, like the Indians, they, when they ate their meat, they would pray and thank the animal. So I do that, and I think that's the best thing. I'm not a meat eater at all, a lot. Mostly fruits, vegetables, nuts, all sorts. That's what, and it seems to keep my mood up. And I like flower teas. I've got a whole collection of flowers and herbs and stuff. I make all sorts of flower teas, and you can put it in, you can put it in a glass jug and leave it in the sun, and then the sun charges it, and then have that, and it's just like some magic potion on every level through that. And then I do use cell food, but interestingly enough, I think that hydrogen peroxide, and it can be taken internally, is probably just as good as cell food. Cell food is quite pricey, considering it puts oxygen in your blood and hydrogen peroxide. Because if I find a good product, I try to find good knockoffs, good easy knockoffs. And some people tell me, well, it's so expensive to be healthy. It's not expensive to be healthy. It's all about the choices that you make. And if you really want to do something, you're going to do it. That's the thing. It's about the will to do it. And so there's all sorts of things, and I definitely will blog about that and write about it more and show what I use and all the things that I do for health-wise.
So, in summary, let's start off with the apple cider.
Yes.
And will you put that in water or something?
I would recommend, if you're quite sick, if you really need to detox, you're going to get, it's called a douche. You can buy it, of course, online. I haven't found it at any pharmacies. In the United States, I think Walgreens carried them for a while, and they stopped carrying them, which I think is a bit of a conspiracy in itself. But you will start with doing 1 capful. So you want to do it till you clear yourself out. Sometimes, depending on when I was really sick, I'm going to be honest, I really did it until when you do it, if you're not feeling well at all and you do it, I would do 2 to 3 of them. I'm not kidding you, until I felt like I cleared everything out. And then I would totally feel amazing after, because of the fact that I cleared all of this negative energy out of myself. I would say what I did is I started off doing, usually, and I keep up doing this, I usually do a vinegar one, start with a vinegar one, then I do a coffee one, then I finish off with a wheatgrass one.
Okay, so you're not drinking it.
I don't drink coffee.
Oh, all the
But
apple cider.
Well, I use apple cider vinegar like in my salads and stuff, but
Okay,
yes,
got it.
but no coffee at all. So it
Okay.
tends, yes. I have heard now, I think that they're using essential oils too, but you just have to be careful because you're very sensitive. So watch out with the essential oil thing. But that I'm currently researching that. I do know that essential oils are amazing. If you can take honey or maple syrup, when you wake up in the morning, you just squeeze some lemon, put your essential oil, warm water. I don't use honey or maple syrup, but if you want, you can do that and just have that. It'll really open your mood up and really help you out for the day. That's the only way I've been using essential oils for now. I'm definitely researching still.
And when you get
Definitely.
onto the H2O2, it's just a glass of water, a couple of drops in at a time, and you have that once a day in the morning, or?
Yes, okay, yes, for that, yes. It depends how sick you are too. There's different protocols. If you're really, really sick, there are different protocols to follow with it. When I post up the blog, I will post the different protocols. But generally, yes, starting out too, if you're going to drink it, starting out really slow, just a couple of drops in there, you know, and if you really are trying to detox and heal, I would recommend doing 1 cup with like 2 drops in the morning, and 1 cup with 2 drops in the afternoon, and 1 cup with 2 drops before bed. If you really, really have some sort of illness or sickness and you really need to heal, that's it. With this though, I need to recommend that you do take I would say a liquid multi-mineral and a liquid multi-vitamin, and then throughout the day you can add spirulina or chlorella in your water. I've actually have this I just brought with me, and this has marine phytoplankton.
Okay, and it's in a glass bottle as well.
And yes, magnesium, which is, I try to carry these around through the day and drink them as much as I can. And that'll just keep throughout the day. That also will keep you revved up in energy. And you have to remember that the more high energy that you are, the less that parasites can affect you. The thing is that when I had lots of issues, because I know how the layers go. Let's say I know how the layers of the onion go, the different levels of the system frequencies, and you can only understand something if you go to the lowest ones. I had to do that. I knew before I even came here that I would go to some of the lowest frequencies and come back from it. So when I went there, I was having all sorts of major problems because my body started without the soul energy in it, because it was only a small amount, and the rest of my soul was pretty much somewhere else. It was still in the under realms, in the underworld, and my body was starting to look like a bit of a corpse for a while. And it's interesting because I went there and I got to learn so much stuff there, and then when I got out of there, I had to heal my body right away and revitalize it, and to get rid of the parasites that had latched onto me whenever I was in low energy. What I did is I just started right away to take the supplements, to do work until I started healing, get back to vibration where now I can sit here today and say I don't have issues with it anymore because I built my energy back up, and I'm so aware when something tries to latch onto me, I can take care of it. I have the energy to take care of it. So it's this also defense that I learned too, because I think some people build their energy up. They're constantly being drained because they haven't put in good defense systems, and that's my whole issue with the New Age movement. That's why lots of people in the New Age movement do seem drained. That's just an observation, because of the fact that they are not taught to keep out the negative people, and or the people that have negative entities that are targeting them. And so this is a real huge problem. You're supposed to guard your soul energy because it's precious. It's part of your soul energy. And for you to let somebody else use you on an energetic level, it's very, very bad for you. It's almost as if saying, I'm okay with being used and abused, and so you're always going to attract that sort of stuff into your life. So initially, going back to the whole underworld thing, we'll definitely have to do just a video about that, where I talk just about that and my experience there and what I learned. And I think it does definitely tie into a dream that I had last night that I wanted to speak about, and I had a very lovely experience. I sun gazed because it's extremely hot here lately. I sun gazed like a day ago, and I have brought myself to where I can look directly in the sun, like perfectly in the sun. I don't recommend you do this at home. I recommend that you start out putting your eyes kind of down with the sun up, and then you work at it, otherwise you'll become blinded. And if you have anything within you, it will really, really trigger it, because entities hate the sun too. As much as they hate the oxygen, they hate different stuff. Like the sun is one of the things that they dislike. So I just knew, because when I was in the underworld, I couldn't look at the sun like that. But when I came back, it didn't take me very long, and I looked straight into the sun for like 10 minutes. My vision's perfect. I don't lose my vision or anything. I was talking to the sun, and it was funny, as I watched the sun, this cloud came, and the cloud was looked like a lion on its back legs, and the sun was like a halo in back of the lion. And then suddenly it seemed to turn into sort of like a bird, a sort of hawk. And it's funny because I do know that it's tied to Horus, and it was like crowned again. And then suddenly, I am not kidding, it turned into like the shape of a man with the sun as a crown. And I was so moved by that. I think I was in tears for a while. It was something that was beyond beautiful, because I get to speak and listen to the universe, and it definitely blesses me very much with its presence and with its messages. And so after that, I had that experience and I was overjoyed about it. Then last night, I had a beautiful dream. It was a very interesting dream, and I guess call it a dream, but I would say I went to in between. Now that I went to the underworld, I'm able to go up or down. Before I wasn't able to go down. I couldn't go down. I could only stay in higher realms for such a long time. It's funny because when they say fallen angels, so any higher being, by the way, has to drop in vibration to come here. So I'm just letting you know that that's how that goes. You have to drop in vibration, otherwise they couldn't even come here. So there's some angels, I think, that have done that just to come here. But higher beings, they cannot come here unless they drop in vibration. And to go even to the lower realms, you really have to drop in vibration. I went ahead and I kind of, when there's souls down there, you can kind of also, if you know what you're doing and you're looking for a soul, I sometimes go looking for souls that I know that I'm appointed to go and help out. And I will get messages from the universe telling me what I need to do and how I need to do it. And to go down there, you have to lose your energy, so you can go even down, because you can't, if you have higher energy, you can't go down there, you won't be able to access it. So I was able to give my soul energy for somebody else and trust the universe that when I came out, I would be given everything plus more back. So it's an act almost of selflessness to do so. You're giving all of your energy that you've had for such a long time. You're gambling it all. You're giving everything.
So what percentage? Is there a percentage that goes down to that level, or is it the whole 100% of your soul?
Well, give up that soul energy to another soul, so then that soul can ascend out of the underworld. And that's what I did.
Okay.
Initially, I did a switch. I gave my soul energy over so that this person who I was appointed to help out could then use that energy and get out. And so I then had to stay down there a while, and it definitely is not a very pleasant place at all. But I was always knew, since I did so, and since I followed what the universe told me to do, and that person is very important, their soul is very important, then I would be restored even more in the end. And it's very interesting, because if you do look at me, you see that you can see pictures before of where I looked quite a bit not well, and then suddenly now if you look at me, I'm becoming back vibrant again, because I followed the path that I was supposed to. And if I wouldn't have followed that path, it's funny, because when I don't follow the path that I'm supposed to, or that I'm giving, I start to feel lost, and I start to feel really, really, really lost in life. And I've learned, though, that always following the path that I'm giving, I will always be taken care of in the end. And I went down there for some reason, and I think that I didn't really comprehend everything till last night, the dream and the experience that I had last night. And it was this: I thought, I'm just gonna go back down there for just, quickly and take a peek. Since I can go down there now, up and down, I can go down. I thought, I'm gonna quickly go take a peek, because now I can tune my frequencies. As a new frequency, I kind of tuned in. I thought, I'm gonna go down there quickly, just pair down there, because I'm able to peek down there, not actually put my soul there, but actually, in a way, peek. How do you say? Almost like I could remote view down what's going on. And it's very interesting, because I saw so many people in what seemed like an underground cave system. And it was like all the sun was like speaking, because it was sending waves. And there were all these people, and they even had their children and stuff, and it was almost like, there was this immense, almost like cave system that was very horrible, by the way. And there were all these people in there, but so many had been freed, so many souls had been freed. There was the people in there that were refusing to ascend, to open up to knowledge and ascend. And so the sun was like, this is, I want everybody to ascend in it. It was pushing the light, and I've never seen the light pierce these barriers. And this is the first time I saw the waves from the sun, like the flares, hitting these frequencies where these people were. And the people who were accepting it and open to it and changing, they were going up. But there was still the couple of them that were not doing it. And when it was past the flare, it was like burn them. It would like burn them. So it was trying to say, hey, it's almost like we don't know if there's a problem with ourselves unless we get hurt somewhere. If you get hurt and you feel the pain, that's how you know there's a problem. So the sun was doing the same thing. It was doing this to try to wake them up. It was trying to, I hit them with light so that they would wake up. It would bing, wake up. So it was very, very interesting, and I was seeing that all sorts of people were ascending out of there, which is very amazing. But there were still these little different groups that were refusing the truth. And the sun was like, I won't have that. I'm going to wake you up in the end. And it's gonna hurt somewhat. It's not an easy path. It's going to hurt. But you are definitely going to wake up. I'm going to be the wake-up call. I'm going to give you the kick, And it was funny, because I was walking, it was almost like I was walking through the different cave systems and seeing so many people, even people I know that they think they're enlightened or whatever, they're somewhat. And the sun was just like giving them a kick. And it just reminds me of how the universe gives us a kick. It gives us a well-deserved kick when we need it, so that we get up and we face ourselves up and we evolve. And
so where is this place? We've got 3D Earth, so you're going to the underground. What is the underground? Where
The
is it?
underworld. I would say it's like frequencies. Like again, like the onion. You have like the
So it's a
different
different
frequencies.
layer, but
Yeah.
within Earth or on Earth or just a different
It's,
dimension?
you know, you can't say on Earth because it's different frequency, you know? So it's, yeah, it's tuned into different frequencies. There's lots of people walking around that their bodies are here, and there's, like we were talking about last time, remember? There's like 10-15% of soul energy in them. They're so closed off. And what we were talking about, like different religious books, and I need to address this because I've read the Bible. I read so many religious books. I have a 100-year-old Bible that I love, and it's so much different than the revised versions that we have now. And I just wanted to say is that when you're awake and you read the words in there, they will change and they will tell you something beautiful. But they are also, the words in these religions are traps for people who just want to take everything literal, for people who don't want to wake themselves up but want to use a crutch. Religion is used as a crutch. It's funny because the word religion is almost like rely on the jinn. You know, the jinn, yes. So it's very interesting whereas it's a two-edged sword, like the Bible says, it's one of the books that's a two-edged sword. If you're not awake, and if you want to use a book and go use the Bible and say, I'm this, and you're not opening yourself up and awakening yourself, well, it's going to be your downfall. However, if you're awake and you read the Bible, you will get things out of there that is amazing. It just depends on what level, what vibration you're at. That's what your perception is. It's also people's perception. Many people's perception of me in mainstream, like in the world, could be that I'm a bit very different, you know. However, to another awake person, we're perfectly normal. It's all about levels of perception. And what we're doing is we're trying to open people's levels of perception and awaken them. The very interesting thing is that also part of my dream is that when we went down there, at least when the group that was set to go down there, they were also bringing light to those souls that had been in darkness for such a long time. So even my descent down there with the light I had helped bring light to the souls that were down there too. And in the end, I think that going on, there's so much fair porn about all this different stuff. And really, it's just about humanity discovering itself and humanity awakening. And it's quite beautiful. And yes, we do have, the universe gives us very harsh reality checks when we don't listen. And lots of the things going on right now, lots of the stuff in the world going on right now is also to give us a reality check. I mean, if everything's smooth for people, they're going to be okay with how the world is, and they're not going to change themselves. But if they get reality checks, if there's crazy things that are happening in the world, they definitely will wake up much faster and much easier.
Yes, they're talking about frequency changes coming up later this year. I don't know. I know it's what's been said out there a lot. So something's going to happen. So
I think the conjunction that we just had is one of them.
okay.
Yes, and I was able to do a download with that and access it, and it was one of them. So it's just, I definitely can say that by the end of this year that, you know, everything's starting to go mainstream. I think I kind of said this, like, at the end of last year, nobody was, like, really believing me, but now you have, like, it's going mainstream because you have, like, the Express and the Guardian talking about UFOs now, or, yes, it's really going mainstream now, which is a really, really good thing. I would say by the end of this year, so much is going to be in the news, and people just aren't going to wake up so much more. It's really going to hit rampantly. And it is, you know, it's also due to the hard work of you blessed souls out there that are doing this. It definitely, you know, I think that, yes, we should definitely keep humility and be humble. But you know what? If somebody around you who is closed off and who is just not nice with you, you says, oh, do you think you're special because you're awake? Yes, tell them, yes, I am special. And you know what? That the universe loves me. I am definitely special that I'm awake, and God does love me, the universe loves me. And stand up for it, because you are definitely special, that you have awoken and that you have taken the steps to literally change your life and to get informed and to try to help out those around you. I want to let you know that you are that, and don't downplay it at all. Yes, don't downplay it. But I think I'm gonna do the question and answer next.
Okay, and the Facebook ones.
Yes.
Because I noticed there's a crop circle one there in Italy, was it?
That has to do with the sun, and that has to do with the conjunction that just happened. It's got to do with the sun. Here, let me see if I can't just pull it up right now. I kept it here. I'm gonna try to start with the first questions. Okay, so Gabby, I know that you asked me this. You said, I understand that astral traveling is second nature for you, but for us it's harder. Can you give us tips or advice how to do it? Do you need to take any safety provisions? Thank you. Okay, so astral travel definitely is second nature to me. It's one of my greatest joys in life. I think I can say that it's amazing. I would say this. It's going back to what I spoke about on a cellular level and what you access on a cellular level. Cleaning out your cells and everything, you will literally start to experience these things, charging with the sun. That will get going astral travel. You'll just start to experience these things. They'll start to happen. And that's how you also know that you're on the right road. I can say with astral travel is that entity. Yes, it's the 4th of July, so they're doing fireworks. I can say, back to the question, I can say with entities is that, okay, so I can say with, I can say that with entities, they don't like when you start to acknowledge them. See, they're unseen. They like staying unseen, because if they were seen, and once you acknowledge them, you can take precautions. You can take steps to take care of them, and they don't want that. They want to make sure that they don't want you to know that they're affecting you on all different levels of your life, whether it's love or health or anything else, or friendships or anything else. They don't want you to know. So when you decide to start doing this, you have to be very strong about it. You definitely have to. I would say that, it's no easy task, and definitely the first step to astral traveling, once you do start to get out of your body, you're going to see that there are entities around you. The thing is to get enough charge within your body so that you can battle the entities and get rid of them. And they will not bother you after, because they'll be freaking afraid of you. Sometimes this scares the crap out of people, and they're like, I don't want to do it anymore, that's it. And I'm like, really? So you're okay? There's entities around you that scared you, so you're like, I'll live with them, I don't want to do it no more. It's really, really, really something that can be very, very eye-opening and be shocking to you. But I want to say is, when you do it, you will feel extremely powerful. You'll feel like, hey, I've got this. If you really decide to go on that road, you will become so self-empowered. And you are also facing yourself, and you're getting rid of things that are causing you harm, and you're saying, yes, I'm going to wake up to these things. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to take control of my body, my soul, my spirit. I'm not going to let things come and leech off of me or harm me. And this is a very, very important. It is personal growth. It is soul growth. It is evolution on every possible level that you can go. I would say the thing is try not to be afraid. Try not to fear. If that's one of the big things, protection. You can ask angels, you can ask, I definitely ask angels, you know, I have animals, just like little birds that keep coming. Animals definitely are always very protective of me. Sometimes I have this Indian amulet sort of thing, and when I go in astral, it's like this weapon for me. So, you know, a good thing to do when you're going to astral travel is imagine you're going to go in with all these weapons and be invincible, just like maybe on a video game when you put all these weapons on. To go like that, you start doing it like that. I would say also to be able to get out of your body, try to do the whole chakra stone thing. I will definitely bring those along next time to explain that more, but you do it, it will align yourself more. You know you're on the right path when you're clearing out your body and you start to just experience this stuff. I think it just happens. At least from what I understand, it just happens. But those are the tips that I can go ahead and give you about that.
But does the guardian angel, if that exists, does that stay with the physical body? Your own guardian angel?
You know
to
what?
protect?
Okay, so from personal experience, because we were talking about Michael earlier, when I was younger and I was getting highly attacked, I asked for the angels to come and guard me, and they actually even they were able to heal me when I was in a very bad state, and it was life changing. And this is why I can't sit here and say that there are not things that are miraculous that happen here in 3D, because I've seen angels in 3D that just appeared, and one stayed in the night, and he protected me during the night. And I think that that's when an abduction was going to happen, and he just stood there and guarded all of the children, and he definitely guarded me, and I got to speak to him. And that's when he told me that my mom was asleep. She was asleep, and I woke up, and he was standing there, and he looked sort of like, you know how the Roman soldiers have all of them, it was in gold, like they have all of the armor and everything, and he was shining with such a light, and I spoke to him for such a long time, and then I asked him, why can't people see angels, because I saw them as a child, and he said because they have closed themselves off from their souls, and because their vibration, their energy isn't high enough, so they can't see angels, their charge isn't. And it's very funny because of the fact that I still understand this today when people ask me and they want to, you know, when they want to experience this stuff. I remember my mom woke up and she barely like saw it, and she asked me why didn't it speak to me, and I told my mom it was because the angel said that she wasn't on the level that he could speak to her and communicate with her. And if we do want to attract angels into our life, we definitely need to positively charge ourselves, and then these things will start manifesting angels, different things, fairies. I see all sorts of lovely things.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can ask the angels to come and guard your body, or even guard your soul, or come and help you. When I was younger and I was having some astral travel battles, very intense ones, I had an angel with very long hair, and he was sort of a bit elephant-y, and he was just helping me. And it's funny because I could always see him around me, and one day I was walking and I had some trouble with some people in the street. They were yelling at me, and I saw him just directly appear with all his weapons, and he was ready like to defend me. So yes, I definitely like can say, we can ask, you know. I do think that you need to be at a vibration where you know whether or not you're getting bad entities that are parading as angels coming to you. And I feel that so many New Agers have negative entities coming to them and claiming they are ascended masters or that they are angels. And then it's funny because I was working with some people, and they would say that they're guides and didn't like me. And I knew directly right away why their guides didn't like me, for one, because their guides were entities that were not good, and these people were drained, they were not well, and I was right away aware of these entities and what they were doing to them, how they were manipulating them, and they also wanted to close. The entities are just like somebody who is somebody who would who's negative, would cut you off from family, cut you off from friends. Well, these entities were cutting people off from anybody who could be helpful to them because that's their food source, and they were acting like guides. And initially, the person thinks, "Oh, I have something coming to see me and helping me," when actually it's harmful. So you do need to discern. Have good discernment and be very testing of anything that comes to you or anything that you beckon. If you have beckoned anything from a good heart and you're sincere about your intentions, then I believe that you will get sincerity back from the universe, and you will get very beautiful angels sent to you that can help you. And that is definitely my view on that.
Okay.
Let me continue on to the next question here. Okay, Craig says, the state of vibration between awake and asleep, is this also known as the in-between by others? I would say yes. I guess, I don't put labels on things, but that's how I could see. I guess that's a good way of putting it, the in-between. It's, I call it, so it is in between worlds in a way, in between dimensions. Yes, I think that's probably what they're saying. So let me continue on to the next one. Okay. Any insight into the cube UFO in Texas? Any correlation between the cube of Saturn and the CERN experiments? Okay. One, and this is by Nessa Norton, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Okay, so this is the thing. I think I wrote about it some months back, about my experience with the cube. I've had so many experiences with cubes. Lots of souls, I see lots of souls are stuck in cubes, or I see people that walk that do have cubes around them, quite a few. I was out walking, and I definitely see cubes on people quite a lot, and I thought, this is really interesting. I felt some sort of presence. After I passed one person that had this literally attached to them, I felt some sort of presence. So I went to do my normal astral travel that I do usually pretty much every night, and something very interesting happened. There was this cube. I saw all these cubes. I could say hundreds of thousands of cubes. It was floating everywhere. It was like almost the world with cubes everywhere around it. I thought, this is insane. What am I seeing here? And the cubes were not very large. They were just as big enough as to fit over a person. And there were so many of them. And something said, don't walk into the cube. Don't, because I saw they would go over people, it would go over people too. And I thought, I need to check out what this is. And since I have quite a lot of faith in God, in the universe, that I'm always going to come out okay, but I'm very careful. But for me to understand certain things, I definitely will go and explore them. So a cube started to approach me, just to come around me and approach me. So I thought, I'm going to step into the cube. And it sort of like opened, and the cube came around me. And then suddenly, it was like I was back in normal reality. There were all these, my friends, family, everything was like normal. It was like I was like in there, and everything was normal. But I have heightened senses now, and astral, I'm quite armed a lot too when I go on sorts of missions like this. And I'm thinking, there's something not right here. Even though I stepped in this cube, it's like a bit of a normal, beautiful sort of projection, There's something very airy here. So I thought, okay, wait a minute, the people walking around. So I started to approach people, and immediately I threw a force field at one of the people around me, and it turned into a gray Archon, a small short gray, and I started to realize that the cubes would engulf people, souls, and then it would make them think that they're in a real simulation. It was a real simulation. It would drain them on every level possible. It would literally drain their soul energy. So I am not kidding you. It took me a bit to get out of there, and I had to realize that all of the people in projection, there were all sorts of entities, great archons in there that were just projection as people, and they were trying to absorb energy from me. And it's funny because as you start, it would suddenly turn nightmarish. It was starting to turn nightmarish, and because it tries to scare you. So if it scares you, then it absorbs more energy from you.
Yeah.
When I finally fought my way through there, I got to a gate, got out of the gate, and got out of the cube, and it was like, that was insane. It literally like made me think. So I think they're soul traps, the cubes. I think that whatever cubes they're soul traps. Whatever cubes I encountered, they're soul traps. I think they possibly could be tied to the larger cube UFOs that are at sea. There's very, very few. Oh, I think I'm trying to remember. I think that I think inside of the movie, oh goodness, it's a movie with Tom Cruise that came out. Hopefully I remember the name, but Oblivion. I see either a pyramid or I think black cube or something that's floating above, and it's got it's got all sorts of stuff in there. So I think that definitely the universe is trying to tell us this stuff is going on. And I know movies are science fiction, and I know people are like, well, don't reference movies. I'm sorry, I experience a lot of stuff before I watch movies, by the way, and then I see it and I know that it's just the universe. The universe is relaying messages in everything through us. So for us to sit there and say, oh no, bad reference, bad this, I'm sorry, even in some crappy movies I've seen, it's relayed messages that we need to know. So my theory is that now, since we are awakening that there's this sort of stuff. There are these sort of soul traps. There are these sort of things that are cubes. And I used to have a friend, and she used to work on people, and she said that when at the top there was like a cube that would, for people whose souls were entrapped, she would also see a square cube. Then we have the different things around the world. In Judaism, they have the cube. They have the cube. The rabbis have the cube on their head. You'll see in many religions there's also cube, and of course all of the sacred writings have been hacked. So, and that's all Saturn worship. And yes, the cube is directly tied to Saturn. And a very long time ago, I remember a very large galactic war going on. I guess you could call it angelic war, and that there was a mechanism that was lost on Saturn that projects reality. And it's right now there's such a war going on too for that. But it's just like Saturn is one of the, or if not the most, it also is the black sun, by the way. It is the most, it projects reality the most. All of the different the ring around it is the projection. It's like a huge computer system there on Saturn.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let me finish these last ones here. Okay, as for CERN, I'm going to speak about it at the conference coming up.
Okay.
Yes, and I can say is that, there's some really good information. The Sci-Fi Channel was going to do a series called Rewind about CERN and how they're trying to rewind time to change timelines, because the negative ones are also very, they're very upset with what's going to happen in the future in the wake of humanity. They still need to absorb energy, so by creating things like CERN to try to make a different outcome is one of their things. But there's this pilot episode called Rewind, and Sci-Fi was told to take it off. They aired just the one pilot, and it's about CERN, and I definitely won't quite a bit of information about their intentions with that. And I do have one more, and it's about the crop circle at Torino Airport in Italy. Okay, I guess you can just Google it to see which one that one is. Okay, this is about what I was just talking about. This correlates to the dream that I had last night and the sun, and how the sun is lighting up. Do you see the sun?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes. Now it's initially saying that the sun is lighting up, and it's going to pierce all. See how it's like spears all around you in a way. See that? It's like spearheads all around. Yes. So the sun is lighting up, and it's going. Do you see it? It's like a spear. Look at that, coming from the sun.
Yeah.
It's going to pierce every level there is, and it's going to burn a lot of negative astral entities, and it's also going to revitalize souls, really, because souls, it's funny, all souls are connected, I believe, to the sun. People who have souls, they're all connected to the sun. It's a ball of burning energy. This crop circle is saying that the sun is lighting up and that it's going to pierce every level, and that's why it looks like there's spears all around, and it's really great and positive news. So
Why Italy though? Vatican? Or?
that's I think that there's probably a correlation there. It's very, very interesting because of the fact that it's funny because of the fact that how religion has kept us in darkness, and the sun is charging us into the light. It's very, very interesting. I think so many chemtrails go on just to block the sun. I have to research a bit more and try to see what I pick up and why it's in Italy. I would also it says, see, sometimes they get where they try to block me. I was just going to say something very important about it. Oh yes, not long ago I also was told that the sun would burn, it would literally burn the Nagas. Do you know what the Nagas are? Nagas. They're the serpent beings. So this is all tied, by the way, all back to Thoth and Osiris and stuff, and all of the prophecy of Thoth, the serpents that walk among men, and how in the end they will be unveiled and you will be able to see them. The thing is that it's very interesting, but because the fact that many of these beings have to steal energy so they can give human form, and when they don't have that energy, they can't hold their human form, and they also dislike the sun so much. It's incredible. So the sun really is just speaking to us and saying that it is lighting up, and it is definitely going to light up even more, and it's going to be great to aid us. Well, if you really want to access information from things like this, from crop circles like this that are quite beautiful, I call them the language of the universe too. What you do is you just pull it up and you stare at it for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on how much you feel. Sometimes I would stare at one for up to 10 minutes and download the information from it, and then you can go to sleep. You'll have a dream that'll be about it, that'll have decoded it, yes. But I'm just going to take a sip of water now.
Right. Thank you, Sarah. That's vlog 2.
Thank you. It's always very lovely chat.
Oh, it's interesting about the crop circle and everything. Everything's about the sun, isn't it, at the moment?
It is about the sun. It's funny, for my birthday I went down to the sun, what do you call it? The sun restaurant over there that has the big golden sun in front. It's right over the river on the other side. Okay. And it was a surprise, and they brought me up for my birthday, and it had the big gold sun around it. You have to watch out with sun symbolism, because there's 2 types of sun symbolism. There's the good sun symbolism, well, obviously the sun, there's the dark sun symbolism, and the negative ones, they love the dark sun symbolism. They just use it everywhere. Okay. Yes. So they trick you very well on that sort of stuff.
Can you feel energies of crystals? That's the one I had.
Yes, I can.
It's one I took to Stonehenge.
Oh.
So it's 2012 Christmas. So it's on the crown chakra. My head just popped open and everything. I can never feel the energy of crystals.
It is definitely female energy. And she wants to be in the sun sometimes. Do you put her in the sun sometimes? She wants to be in the sun sometimes so she can charge. The crystals often talk to me. They're like, I want to be in the sun sometimes. They have to be in the sun. As much as you can put it in salt water, you can put her in the sun just for a little while so she can charge. She likes that. I was very, very blessed because I got a crystal that I believe was connected to the Atlantean computer system that because I have so many memories of Atlantis too. And I named it, and I talked to it, and this was when I think it was like 18 or something. I talked to it, and she told me, she said, listen, I'm going to help light your Kundalini up. I can hear stuff talk, I know. Don't think I'm crazy. I can literally, even animals and stuff, even if birds are hungry or animals, I'm tapped into. I can even feel flowers, and they tell me I want to be watered, or I like this or that. It's a nice experience. Okay, so I took that crystal I had. It was about this big, by the way, and she told me, she said, put me on the headboard of where you sleep. And I did, and I woke up and I was levitating.
Okay.
Just my body was levitating. I felt my whole Kundalini was alive. It was so strange. It was just like, I'd never had an energy rush like that in my life. I had such an energy rush. But the thing is that you can't have other people around you, because when somebody came in, I dropped right away and it hurt because the energy, you're so sensitive when you get like that. You just feel everything. It's insane, but you do feel everything. And I was feeling everything. And where I come from, we speak in emotion. That means we don't speak, we speak in emotions. And everybody's always well like that. And they're always interacting with emotions, and their power comes from the connection that they have. And I do, before we finish, I do want to talk about this, is transhumanism and how they're trying to promote androgynous male and female in one body, which is purely satanic. The original idea, and that the universe wants, is for male and female to connect on all chakras and heart level. It does not want to. It does not want a being that's transhumanism, that is both female and male together. That is the satanic. That is a very satanic. And that is a very, very, very satanic. How do you put it? It's what they want. It's what the elite Satanists want. They want to desecrate male and female, and it in one body together is how they want to do that, androgyny. Whereas the universe wants male and female to connect on heart level, and on soul level, and on mind level, and that's the connection between male and female it's pushing for, whereas the satanic ones are pushing for androgyny and a being who's both male and female together, which is very awful. It's against both male and it's against both the divine male and female, and it's one of the things that they're pushing really, really intensely this instant.
Okay.
And thank you. She's very lovely, by the way. She's very pretty. You might want to use her, look, like right here. I feel like that could be healing to the core right here. There's right there, yes. If you put I usually put the crystals right here, and depending on which ones I feel, and then put the chakra. I just sometimes I pile them all over my body, like 20, 30 chakra stones all over me, and then you feel revitalized and recharged and everything. It's very, 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 very amazing.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I think because last time I had a headache, so I think this one's like much better.